Fighting erupted as dozens of Hamas militants broke out of the Gaza Strip, making their way into nearby Israeli towns as part of a surprise attack. Hamas's ground attacks were combined with unrelenting barrages of rockets. Damage to buildings can be seen as far north as Tel Aviv. Hundreds of people are dead and thousands are hurt on both sides of this conflict. This is the largest attack on Israel in years. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu calling a mass mobilization of army reserves. We have team coverage tonight. Richard Jacobus speaks with a New Yorker currently in Israel, but we first head to Stephanie Bertini with a look at how this war in the Middle East is unfolding tonight. Steph.
Arthur, the Prime Minister of Israel promising to win this war while the world is watching, our president condemning the actions of Hamas militants. The sights and sounds of an early morning attack. Hamas militants broke out of the blockaded Gaza Strip and into nearby Israeli towns, killing and abducting innocent civilians, according to reports. And that combined with Hamas firing thousands of rockets into southern Israel. The Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, declaring war.
Citizens of Israel, we are at war, not in an operation or in rounds, but at war. This morning, Hamas launched a murderous surprise attack against the state of Israel and its citizens.
Israel retaliated, launching airstrikes in Gaza. President Biden asserting his position.
The people of Israel are under attack, orchestrated by a terrorist organization, Hamas. In this moment of tragedy, I want to say to them and to the world and to terrorists everywhere, that the United States stands with Israel.
The leader of Hamas reportedly says they are prepared to expand the fight into Jerusalem and the West Bank. Hamas is widely recognized internationally as a terrorist organization. Israel's military forces have opened up fighting in nearly 24 locations along the Gaza border. The Prime Minister of Israel vowing to win the war.
I have ordered an extensive mobilization of reserves and that we return fire of magnitude that the enemy has not known. The enemy will pay an unprecedented price.
The surprise attack came on a major Jewish holiday. Based on what unfolded today, it's clear many innocent lives will be sacrificed as the war continues. Arthur.
All right, thank you, Stephanie.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, which is to say in the Paleo-Hebrew, Yahweh, which is the name of the Heavenly Father, meaning He is, Bahashem, meaning in the name, Yahweh Shai, meaning He is our salvation, the Israelites, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans here in the Western Hemisphere, and to the rest that's scattered abroad who looks like the other nation, but through their patrilineal lineage go back to, the Israelites. So, living in the last days. And now we are in the midst of another war, a rumor of war between, the Israelis and Hassan, and they saying that this militia group Hassan is being founded or could be founded by, the Iranians. And how much of a coincidence that they say that it could be founded by the Iranians after the Iranians, decided to join up with BRICS, and this is how they demonize a particular individual or group before they declare war on that person or before they go after that individual. Because the same way they did with Gaddafi, they did with Hussein, they did with bin Laden. They demonized them so they could be justified in the eyes of the public when they went and executed judgment. So now they are putting Iran in the crosshairs, or saying that Iran could be, a major part of the founding, that's founding this militia terrorist group or whatever they calling it, that's having and putting attacks on Israeli. Okay? So you getting to see how these prophecies are getting ready to be played out in these last days. So this is St. Matthew 24 And let's start at verse 3. And it says, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? Now, this word world, when you go into it, it's the Greek word eon. And let's go there and get the definition.
Strong's G 165, Ion.
Okay, they say ion. So, outline of biblical usage: 1, forever, an unbroken age, perpetuity of time, eternity, the worlds, universe, period of time, age. So this period of time, this age, this era is speaking of the last heathen era, Esau, Edom. This is going to be the last time that a heathen rule over us. So they want to know, the disciples are asking Yahushua, when will be the last of this world? So let's go back to that verse. So Matthew 24 verse 3 says, and he sat upon the Mount of Olives. The disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? Speaking of these heathen rulerships, these heathen ruling over us, the end of their era, the end of their age. And it's spoken of in Daniel, the 2nd chapter, that this would be the last kingdom ruling over us, the Roman Empire. And America was revived to come back under that spirit of the Roman Empire. These are the same Edomites, or the so-called white people, or Caucasians, that ruled over us back in Rome. They back here ruling over us again, but this is going to be the last time they rule over us. And yeah, Yahushua is going to go into the signs that you need to be on the lookout, so you can see when he's getting ready to come back to claim dominion over all the kings of the earth. So it says, verse 4, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And through Christianity, they have deceived many, putting up that fake image of Caesar Borgia as Jesus Christ and telling our people that that's the true Lord and Savior. They deceive many. Verse 5 says, For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. And that's what we're hearing. On the brink of one war, we're hearing a rumor of another war, which is this Israeli war. Right off of the brink of having, things simmer down in the Russia and Ukraine war, now here it is, we have another war on the uprising. So it says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So we understand these things must work themselves out, but the end is not yet. But these are the signs that we know must come before the end actually comes of this Edomites rulership, this so-called white man's rulership. So it says, verse 7, For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Right, and you're going to see a lot of these places that you once knew, such as America, hit with famines and pestilence, and it's going to be orchestrated, all by Yahweh, but he's going to use these wicked, the wicked of the wicked, Esau, Edom, to bring forth this, because just because they averted the government shutdown doesn't mean that they're not going to come back, because they said that it's just averted for the time being. They're going to have to reassess it in 45 days, which is somewhere around Thanksgiving, so you could see how they could easily shut down this place again right before Thanksgiving. And now people, now people are going to have a hard time adjusting once they can't get their food stamps, once they can't get their government assistance, whether it's the SSI, Social Security check, or, you know, any type of help from the government. People are going to start uproar and uprising and creating, you know, uproars in the place. And it tells us that in 2nd Ezra chapter 9. So it says, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. You're going to see the people of America start to, you know, uproar because they going to realize that their government has betrayed them. Okay? You're going to have insurrections throughout the whole land. So, you know, there's no hope for this place, Babylon, which is America. So it says, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. And you've been seeing that in an uptick lately. You know, earthquakes when you shouldn't have earthquakes, pestilence. They're talking about a new disease X, which is supposed to be allegedly 20 times more deadlier than the C19. You know, all on the midst of this October 4th nationwide broadcast alert system. So we don't know how they're going to use that to bring about if this disease X is, you know, indeed what they say it is. Because we know through the whistleblowers that they said the symptoms of, you know, having that thing activated inside you once those hurts from that October the 4th nationwide broadcast alert system is supposed to be, you know, way more deadlier than what? The original C19 with a mortality rate of 88%. So we gonna see, you know, just exactly how this pestilence can play out and run throughout the whole land. So it says, all these are the beginning of sorrows. So yeah, you're going to see these as a telltale sign at the beginning of sorrows, because it tells us in what, Matthew the 16th chapter. And let's go to 2. And he answered and said unto them, when it is even, ye say it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. And in the morning it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the times? So you go outside and you can see the weather is fair just by looking at it, because you don't see any dark clouds. But having these signs right there presented in front of you, you can't see that we in the end times, the end of this man's world. So a wicked and adulterous generation, verse 4, seeketh after a sign. And that's how majority of our people is. They want a sign. But you have to have faith and discernment in order to see the signs that are put it before you through the prophets, through the service of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So it says, a wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign. And there shall no sign be given unto it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. And he left them and departed. So Yahweh Shai is that sign that's going to be, you know, presented, you know, and once you see him coming, it's going to be too late, because it says he's going to come like a thief in the night. So when you see him, it's going to be over with by that time. So you seeing the signs right now, and you need to have discernment to see that this is the time you need to be getting yourself together. Going back to the 24th chapter. Verse 9, and it says, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Right, because some of us going to be beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai, pursuant to Revelation, the 20th chapter, the 4th verse. So it says, and many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. And we know they're going to be, you know, having these false prophets, whether they be false, you know, pastors or what have you, or preachers or what have you, that's going to take that mark, and through the, you know, illusion of that mark is going to be able to, you know, produce lying wonders. They're going to have that mark and say, oh, this mark is able to heal, you know, this mark is able to do all type of things that, you know, is spoken of in the Bible, can heal the blind, you know. They're going to push all type of madness in these last days. So it says, and because iniquity shall abound, sin upon sin shall be adding up, the love of many shall wax cold. It's going to be a dog-eat-dog world out there. 13, but he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. And we went into that the other day, carrying your cross, enduring to the end, because everybody's going to be tried. So it says, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. And you've seen that right now. Never have you seen the Bible being preached with this type of understanding before in the history of the earth, man. This is that new song. You know, we were put to sleep, but now we're waking up to a new melody, the new song. That what? We are indeed the true Israelites. You know, we need to repent, turn back from our wicked ways, that this man kingdom is on his way out. You know, you've never seen this truth spoken before like this, you know, throughout the whole land, throughout the whole kingdom. You've getting the truth right now. This is the truth that's being preached and being spread throughout the whole kingdom. It says, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. And all nations are witnessing this gospel of the kingdom, this gospel being preached throughout the kingdom. Because you're seeing all type of people that's, you know, realizing who they are through this gospel being preached. And now they, you know, repenting, those of us who are the elect throughout the four corners of the earth. So now Esau Edom is getting ready to roll on us. For those of us who ain't, you know, hedged and protected under the mercy of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, he gonna mow us down. He gonna mow those people down. But for those of us who've keeping his word of patience diligently, we gonna be put into that strong, you know, stronghold, that protection spoken of in Nahum 1:7. Let's go there. This is Nahum 1 and verse 7. Yahweh is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble, and he knoweth them that trust in him. So those of us who trust in him, we're going to have that stronghold. We're going to have that hedge, that protection from Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. So this is the time we in, man. And you seeing the signs right now. You seeing rumors of wars. You seeing another war is on the brink or has already been declared as a war. And you seeing these are just signs that Yahweh Shai gave us to look out for, so we can be prepared for when he comes back. And we don't get caught sleeping like those 5 foolish virgins. Okay? So it says, and this gospel of kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. So we right here at the front door of the end being, you know, being ready to be executed. Because what? You seeing the rumors of war with Israeli, you know, and you seeing how Biden said if anybody mess with Israeli, that they're going to have to, you know, pretty much deal with the U.S. military. And that's prophesied in Jeremiah. Let's go there. 50 in verse 45. And it says, therefore, hear ye the counsel of Yahweh, that he have taken against Babylon, you know, which is today America, and his purposes, that he have purpose against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. So the least of the flock, you know, is that Israeli military, man. They don't have enough to, you know, really sustain and to go up against any other bigger, you know, opposition such as Russia, China, you know, and those type of militaries. But through the U.S. military, they gonna come into the war and be drawn out. So it says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Draw who out? The U.S. military. And you can see how the U.S. military is embedded with the Israelis. So once the Israelis get drawn into the war, the U.S. military is going to come in and be drawn out to help them and aid them. It's going to what? facilitate them being brought further and further into the, Middle East, the land of Jehoshaphat, the Armageddon, where all nations are going to be judged, where they're going to come to see and get their judgment. So you can see the U.S. is going to be drawn out into this war as well. They already put troops over there in Ukraine, but now they got Israeli that's getting ready to get attacked, and this war is being sparked and jumped off, and Biden is saying how what, that if anybody touch Israeli, that they're going to have to answer to them. So we could very much see how Yahweh is drawing all these nations into that one particular part of the earth. So it says, therefore hear ye the counsel of Yahweh, that he have taken against Babylon and his purposes, that he have purpose against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock should draw them out. Surely he should make their habitation desolate with them. Right, and that's why those of us who are over there in that land, Jerusalem, who thinking that, we going to be able to go there. And nah, that land going to be destroyed. It's going to be desolate. Only way we're going to get back there is through Yahushua. He's going to bring us back there. So those of us who are over there, if it's too late, once those missiles start, going, that's going to be it. And you see the missiles already starting to fly over there. So once this war really pop off, that land going to be desolate. So that's why you have to wait on the Lord, man. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. He's going to deliver us and bring us back over there. You can't go over there under your own volition, because you trying to offset prophecy. No, prophecy has to be fulfilled. So the least is going to draw them out. The least is the Israelis. They going to bring out the big guns. The U.S. military. They're going to all be, let's just go there and read it. Joel 3. This is Joel 3, and let's go down to verse 2. It says, I will also gather all nations. So he's going to get U.S. as well, and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. Armageddon, the third world war, and will plead with them. Therefore my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So he's getting all these nations in one concentrated area, and then he's going to plead with them, not in the sense of begging, but when you go in that word, it's judge. So he's going to judge them. And we know Yahushua is coming to take back the crowns of all these kings, man. So you seeing the signs, those of you who can see it being put into place and showing you that Yahushua is coming. He's on his way. Now, it's up to you to use discernment and see it. And if you have had the eyesight to see it, this is more reassurance that this is the time we live in, that you should be on point and be sober and be vigilant, and continue to stay in this truth, because we right here at the doorstep. This is why we repent, so we can have that mercy. So let's read that one more time. Joel 3 and verse 2, it says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people. Who is his people? Israel. And for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So this is what you're seeing. That's why you seeing it's talks of a draft that's getting ready. Hey, this thing is serious, man. There's talk, that they might be sparking up that draft again, because they can't get enough willing participants to come sign up for the military. They're going to have that draft for this mighty war. This is going to be it, man. Let's get that in Isaiah. This is Isaiah 3 and 25. It says, thy man shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war. So a lot of us Israelites, speaking of the so-called blacks, Latino, and Native America, we're going to be drafted to the war. And we're going to fall by the sword. Those of us who not protected under the hedge of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, you being called to the war to get your judgment. Because this is part of prophecy. It says, thy man shall fall by the sword. Speaking of the Israelite man. And, you know, you women as well, because they could easily draft some of you women. So it says, thy man shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war. So it's going to be bloodshed, man. Ain't nothing sweet about it. Make no mistake. You know, and for you that's thinking about dodging the draft and they don't have enough room in the prisons to hold you, that's what these abandoned buildings are for. They can easily turn those into concentration camps that can house plenty. So those abandoned warehouses you see, those abandoned, you know, supermarkets, whatever you see, those could easily be turned into holding camps or holding cells where they can house the people or the individuals who don't want to, you know, sign up for the dodge. I mean, who don't want to sign up for the draft, who want to dodge the draft. So we here. I mean, you seeing the signs. All this on the brink of them, you know, getting ready to bring forth the CBDC. These are beautiful times we living in, man, because we getting to see these prophecies. We are in the midst of the transaction, the transition between one kingdom going down and the next kingdom being lifted up. And that next kingdom is Israel, and never again shall we fall. So you in the midst of the transition right here, and you getting to see it firsthand. So this is important times that we living in. So we're going to see how the end of this year play out and rolling into the beginning of next year. Because like we did a video earlier, we said, you know, how these BRIC nations are supposed to be joining, how these other countries are supposed to be joining into, you know, the BRICS beginning January of 2024. And one of them being Saudi Arabia. You know, that's a major player in the U.S. petrodollar. So if they start trading amongst their own countries and don't, no longer use the U.S. petrodollar, you can see how the economy, the U.S. economy, is going to reflect on that. You know, and this could very much well be why they're going to try to demonize, you know, Iran, because I believe Iran is one of those countries as well that's joining into the BRICS. You know, so you can see the alliance being made right here in front of your eyes. So now they putting in the works, or they putting in the strategy of how they going to demonize, so once they declare war, they can be justified in the eyes of the public. We need to send more relief fund to Israelis. We sent relief funds to Ukraine, steady depreciating the value of the dollar, because they're gonna have to print more money to send off to these other countries for war. You know, you can see how all this is culminating into the economy getting weaker and weaker by the day, until eventually the dollar is worth nothing. So they have to start over printing things, which is going to cause hyperinflation, which is one way that they could take down the debt. If the debt is at 33 trillion and they can keep printing more money, keep printing and printing more money into hyperinflation, now what? They got enough money to pay off that debt through the wars. But essentially, they're going to have a great reset where they just reset the whole infrastructure. You know, because this BRICS, they looking to, you know, take over and be the new hegemony. And the speculations and talk that if so, that BRICS currency is going to trample the US dollar, which people going to feel it here in America, man. You ain't going to be able to get the same items that you got at the same price as you once did. Like a loaf of bread is going to cost you 50 times as much. You're going to be scrambling looking for government assistance. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. But this is the future you can look forward to when you put your faith into, Egypt, Babylon, America. There's no deliverance. There's no salvation in it. Okay? So yeah, this is it, man. We here. So let's go ahead and close out and take it from there. 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. And it reads, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. And he's looking to devour as many of us as he can. That's why 2/3 of us is going, not see the other side of this, the other side of this. We're going to fall, whether by the sword, the pestilence, or ultimately by those missiles. So, that's why you have to be sober. Discern the times. You getting up-to-date information to see that we here in these last days, these last days of this man's rulership, his world, his eon, and he's looking to devour as many as he can because he knows this is his last rulership. So that's why we have to be sober, stay alert, stay awake, stay up on certain topics to see what's going on. Be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. So hopefully somebody was able to take something away from this, and if it be the Lord's will, until the next time, stay strong, stay in the faith. We almost home. Shalom.